Hello everyone, was it really Yoko Ono that broke up the Beatles, or was it truly matter-of-factly just John Lennon one day decided to tell Paul McCartney, his bandmate, pal, friend, that he'd like to leave the band, do his own thing, and have a little certain amount of creative freedom? You can determine or interpret the course of events that really transpired, or you can simply watch the Beatles episode of Celebrity Deathmatch, complete with the intervention of Yoko Ono, and consider that complete canon as I do. But in any case, creative freedom is something that we should be able to have from the get-go, our born given right. We don't want to go to a store and be able to buy potato chips. We want to be able to have Pringles, Lay's, of course, Doritos, and Ruffles. And of course, for pop, aka soda, we want to be able to have Dr. Pepper, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, and Sprite. I mean, it is what it is. But in any case, for the PlayStation Classic, we have various modifications, such as AutoBleem, BleemSync, Retro Boot, and of course the Extreme Injector that I post. And going back as far as the original NES and SNES classics, and even now the Mega Drive Mini, we have Hashi implementation, which all started from the get-go in 2017 with the great work of Mad Monkey, who helped get RetroArch and of course the AKA emulators cores working on the NES Classic. What would have been just an original system running NES games branched off into being able to run Genesis games, Atari 2600 games, and even PlayStation 1 games, especially with USB hosts, which Mad Monkey worked in later on in the SNES Classic phase. But going back to Hashi 1, which is Mad Monkey's incorporation of it, Cluster M took off from that and branched into Hashi 2, and him along with PCM 720, and then I got involved as far as helping troubleshoot, pinpoint, debug, and fix things up with them. Stuff like simple things like 32-bit and 64-bit operating systems having different differentials, and as far as syncing games, I mean, you might have like 87 megabytes left on 32-bit and 97 megabytes left on 64-bit, which is a 10 megabyte differential, which we were able to basically fix up and optimize with RAM usage changes. But yes, it got very, very interesting, and unfortunately, somewhere in the course of Hashi 2, Cluster had to take a little bit of time off. He was off for about 6 months, but there were other great individuals such as Danaman827, Skogaby, and Princess Daffy who wanted to continue the legacy and add their own amazing changes. But of course, Cluster was nowhere to be seen for that 6-month period, so things got a little bit tricky. So we kind of agreed, and between Reddit and Discord, we have our Discord here, which obviously Rockin' the Classics, which you had for a few years now. We're able to get Danaman827, Skogaby, and of course, Princess Daffy all together. And then I suggested we try to get Cluster M and Mad Monkey involved as well. And we're able to get all of them into an amazing TS team. And it became Hashi 2 CE Community Edition. And right now, actively speaking, we have Danaman827 and Mad Monkey who are working on implementation for the Mega Drive Mini in its own great modification. And it's just going to be Hashi 2 CE. We're not changing the name or anything. But we also have Project Lunar from MMC. But here's where the drama is going to get real, unfortunately. Some of you already know about this, others may not. But we're another group of people called MMC, aka Mod My Classic. And they have a different opinion as far as things are concerned. I mean, from the get-go, going back a couple years when some of their members doing the Mod My Classic standalone thing, they kind of had this philosophy that the end user should not have creative choice. It should just be one enduring choice for RetroArch, one enduring choice for cores, and so on. I mean, and one single source for download. Obviously, I did not agree with that, and some of the other people I collaborated with did not agree as well. And it became a big problem. And I'm going to give you an example of this. From the get-go here, I do releases for various cores and stuff. Let me go to my release page here. And I've been doing this for several years now. Many of you follow these on a regular basis. I have release notes and all that. And I kind of do a lot of testing, recompiling, and trying to get the best performance and speed out of all the cores I can. And we have all of them right down the line here. From obviously 2048 to 4DO, which runs 3DO games. And we have Daphne, which runs obviously like Dragon's Lair, Space Ace, and so on. And there's a point where the other people involved tried basically forking off my own project here and re-releasing it as their own. I mean, all the testing I had done was just pretty much lifted and reposted. And then they had this thing where they want to ban me from the scene completely. I mean, start banning me from Reddit, Discord, and everything. So I had no involvement in this at all whatsoever, even though I put hundreds and hundreds of hours in here. And I've collaborated with many, many people. I mean, thousands of people over the last several years, helping them fix things, test, all that good stuff. So I added a prefix to the cores here because we had the cluster cores, then we had the MMC cores, which were lifted from my repo initially, but then they moved on and actually started legitimately doing them after that, so that's a good thing. But for instance here, if somebody told me that Blaster Master didn't work with FCMM, I could say, hey, what were you running it with? And they say KM FCMM, which is the one that I personally worked on and compiled. Because if you had 10 identical Pepsi brands and somebody said they got sick off one of them, hey, which Pepsi did you drink? Oh, that one. But here they could say they drank the KM FCMM Pepsi brand and got sick, then I know that I need to fix its exact one. And it's worked out amazingly well as far as troubleshooting is concerned. But things got really, really bad here. I used to post these releases between 1 and 4 weeks each. I started getting PMs from individuals from MMC saying that I can't post these anymore because they now are doing their own and it's not needed anymore. And then the RetroArch that I personally tweaked and got for performance and speed, I was told I can't post that either. And then another thing on top of that, I was told that I can't post FF Impact, which runs videos, because the end user doesn't want to have it. But we all want to be able to run videos, even though they're 480p and we don't have hardware acceleration. You guys and gals are able to have your choice of whether or not you want to install it. I'm not going to go by this decision that you're not allowed to have your creative freedom. You're able to do it if you want to. And things got really, really bad because I was basically given harassing messages that my releases were going to be deleted from Reddit for various reasons. There'd always some kind of scapegoat as to why it would be deleted. Like, oh, this is causing an issue with our load screens and such, so you can't post your release there and all that jazz. And things got really, really bad from that point on. I mean, it became a big debate for 2 days on whether or not to try to get me banned. And several people were in my favor, and that just didn't happen. And I've had nice communication with hundreds upon hundreds of people over the years. I'll show you this right now. Just go to my PMs there. I have tons of messages from hundreds of people. I mean, via Libretto, Discord, and so on. I mean, we go right to Libretto here to people actually work on a lot of these, like great people like Tekra, who works on Recast, a.k.a. Flycast, Rob Loesch, who does playlists, and so on. It's been an amazing venture. And I've been in the MMC Discord for 2 years now, being very courteous, helping agreeable. If people ping me, I help them out with running stuff like BleemSync, the cores in my set, their cores, and all that jazz. But things got really blown out of proportion here recently when we had another person, individual called GenderBent, who wanted to do a modification called RetroBoot, and MMC members started harassing him about sorts because he saw that people were really favoring the cores and stuff that I optimized and put together for usage on the mini classics, and he wanted to use these in RetroBoot. So they started saying, where's the source at? And by the way, I do have source files. I've had them. All you have to do is request them. I'm going to show you this right here. My repositories, all my source files complete with the commits and stuff. Like you go to, for instance, here, we're going to go to the latest PUA Extreme. There's a crash that was happening on the Mini Classics, and I collaborated with our SN8887, and we were able to get this, along with Mad Monkey, fixed so that these can run on other platforms, not just the Mini Classics, because I try to get these changes incorporated for that. And I also have my own variant of MAME 2003 Extreme, which has nice performance and speed. It has many things such as System 32, IREM games, and many, many other things, including the custom soundtracks that GP Star worked on, along with Big Blue Front End and so on. I mean, you're talking Outrun, NBA Jam, Double Dragon, and so on. There's going to be another incredible one coming out in the near future, which is going to blow your mind. But I try to do what I can to have the great overall experience for the end user as far as performance and speed, and also have a nice fine line between collaboration and communication with other people. But here's where things get really interesting. I don't really troll people. I don't do that. But other alternate accounts from MMC came into our Discord, and I'm going to do this right now. Search, and this is very interesting. I'm able to search all messages that are on our Discord, but on their Discord, all the harassing messages, all the ones related to source, all the defamation of character about me and other individuals were all purged from the server, which caused a big controversial scene. We didn't delete anything. Everything good and bad is all right here for your perusal. You can come into our Discord from my release page and read all of these. You go messages from user. Just watch this. George, this gets really, really interesting here. Just watch. And I'm not going to do too much of this, but I'm going to show you George's messages here. Right here. And I can go down. Let's find these. I'm going to go to right here. Go down. These are interesting. You can just truly see some fun stuff here. Let's scroll up a little bit. And right here is essentially an entire hour plus of us being trolled by MMC users. And some of them have since come and said they were sorry and apologized, and I'm absolutely 110% cool with them. But an individual right here under the name George basically came into the server asking for help and stuff. And at first I thought it was legitimate, and then it started getting real harassing and saying some truly despicable, mean things, and just basically putting everything down. And you can just read it. Just come to our server and search for George, and we will not delete these messages. These are here for you to enjoy because we're not hiding anything. You can read all these and see the truth behind the factor. But like I said, we want to have our own creative freedom as far as what we want to do for Hashi, the cores, RetroArch, and so on to get the best mixture of performance and speed, in essence. But we also have our Hashi and Project Lunar, and this is where things get really, really interesting. I've actually been really cool with them and always polite, no matter how much bashing I've taken. I've taken quite a bit of bashing from, I don't compile my own cores, but I've actually made videos where I show myself compiling and doing the commits for the cores. I didn't do it at the time when they said that you can't do it because I didn't want to cause more drama or controversy. And some of these people have gone as far as like calling me faggot in PMs and stuff. I mean, under out accounts. It's pretty bad. It's been really bad. And I have each and every message. I could literally just sit here for an hour reading all these messages, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to let you come to our Discord and look for them yourself and just see the truth. And the other thing is we, as a decision here, a group decision, we decided we do not want to accept donations. I mean, there's a difference between going on to TeamViewer and sitting there for 3 hours and doing a little bit of an IT troubleshooting session. We will accept a personal donation for that, but general as a whole, the Hashi, cores, emulators, all that stuff, that's free to the public, and we're not going to accept donations. And that was my ultimate decision as far as not collaborating with them as a whole, because I don't want to have money given from the public to us because we do this for free for you to enjoy, and that's the way it should be. Emulation is free. It is absolute bullshit for anybody to accept money donation-wise for emulation. It is a free thing. That is what it is. But that's just my opinion. You do not accept donations for something that's free, whether or not it's server costs. But yesterday, I was working. I've been doing overtime because I've been filling in for somebody who's interested at work. There's a little bit of argument, debate going on in our server here about what's better, Lunar or Hashi. And of course, this got out of hand, and it's kind of like a debate that got out of hand. And I went into Discord this morning and found out I was banned from MMC, and I found out because of this conversation right here, which is in our second modding channel. You can read the entire thing and just see how despicable some of these stupidity things are. And I got banned because of this. I had absolutely nothing to do with this. I wasn't even involved in this. I've always been very, very polite with the public and avoided any kind of overall drama, but I'm just bringing things to light. I've been holding this back for so long, and now the fact that I'm banned and that I've taken this harassment for over 2 years now. And here's the sad thing. Other MMC members were fully 100% aware that I was being harassed, and they didn't do anything to stop it whatsoever. They just let it persist. And a half dozen key members did this on a regular basis, and I put up with it because I could take name calling. I mean, sticks and stones may break my bones, but it gets pretty pathetic that people live their life like this because they're hiding behind a keyboard, and in real life, they would never ever do this to somebody in real life. People in reality would never do this. When you see me in my YouTube videos, I'm who I am in my YouTube videos in real life. I treat everybody cordially, and I've been very nice to all these people, even when they've been mean to me. And they banned me, and as a result, this put a huge fracture in our scene, and from this point forward, we're not going to really do anything. I mean, if you have BleemSync installed and you have troubleshooting issues, I'll help you out, but I'm not going to put out any more BleemSync releases. It is what it is. If you want to run the cores and RetroArch that I post, you're going to have to run them with AutoBleem, because Screamer of AutoBleem is a nice guy, and he's cool with everybody. He doesn't cause drama, and Screamer is one of the best individuals that I've ever met in the scene. And the entire AutoBleem team, no drama whatsoever. They're cool, and they're down to play. But in any case, it is what it is.